In this video, I'm going to show you how to upgrade Cisco Call Manager. I have 12.5 and I'm upgrading to 14. That might be different for you. And I'll add chapters so you can skip to relevant parts of this if you already have done the work ahead of time. But the first thing I'm going to do is just make sure we're ready to go. And we're going to need to consider a couple of things. You need to make sure that you have all the files you need. And I'll add this link, but I went to Cisco's site, and through research I found out that I was going to need at least 3 different files. I actually have those listed right here, and I just used Control F to find them on the page and download what I needed. So there was 2 COP files that I need to install, and then the actual 5 gig ISO. And I need to install those COP files first before I can do the ISO, otherwise everything is going to fail. So you're going to have to research what you have to do, and there are some migration guides for Call Manager, or you can just try to install the ISO and it will fail. And you can look at the error code, Google it, and find out exactly which ones you need to download. But it might take a little bit of work ahead of time to make sure that everything goes 100% smoothly. So I've already downloaded the 3 files I need from Cisco's site. You'll need a support contract to download those. Next, you're going to want to make sure that you have the correct resources. So I'll leave this link there as well, but I can see that for mine, I need to have 2 CPUs and yada, yada, yada. You can figure out which version you are working on, and then click prior versions if you are not on 12.5 or are moving to a different version. So mine are actually good, but let's just pretend it's not. How would you change it? Say you had 1 CPU and you need to change it to 2 CPUs. I'll go into my machine, and I'm actually going to do this on the subscriber just to make things a little bit faster. So I've logged into the console CLI, and I'm going to issue this command to shut down the machine. So of course, consider what this is going to mean for impact. Only do this after hours unless you have permission. This kind of thing will cause a failover. Hopefully you have a subscriber and a publisher so that your phones can fail over and aren't just out. But I'm going to issue the command utils system shutdown. And yes, I really want to shut down. Now this can actually take a little bit to happen. Okay, so I changed it so it only has 1 CPU. So I'm going to select the virtual machine. It's finished shutting down. Click Edit. Then I'm going to change the CPU to 2, save, and power it back up. And that's something that you would need to do for both nodes if you're going to do an upgrade. Going to want to do them separately to avoid causing outages, and like I said, I would recommend doing the entire upgrade process off hours. So now that we have our ISO files and our VMs ready, we are going to want to make sure that we have our SFTP server ready. So I'll put this link in there as well, but it's a free tool. You can download SolarWinds SFTP server. You have to give them your email address, but once you have that going, you're just going to want to make sure that you have the files that you download from Cisco in the SFTP root. And by default, after you install the server, it's going to be right here. Off your C, SFTP root, and you'll see I have my COP files and I have my ISO file all ready to go. So once you get those files, you're going to want to make sure you have access. So I'm in the settings of that application. Over at this tab up here, I'm going to go over to users, and I already have a user right there, admin, but you can create one, or you can also allow anonymous login. For this video, I did a user, so just to keep things simple, I would just add one. And that is it, other than we need to also enable a firewall rule for it. And my server is on a Windows 10 machine, so I'm just going to go to Windows Defender Firewall. Oh, no, not this. I believe it's this. Yes, that's better. So inbound rules, and I'm going to add a new rule. And I'm going to choose program. Then I'm going to browse, and so it's going to be on the C, Programs 86, SolarWinds, SFTP, and SCP server. And I'm going to choose the SolarWinds SFTP server. Next, allow the connection. Next, and I've already created this rule, so I'm not going to keep it. And that is it. If you don't do that, you might have problems with the upgrade. It'll look for the file and not be able to reach your SFTP server. So that's how you solve that. So I'm now going to upload those COP files and install them starting on the publisher. So I'm going to open up a console. And I highly recommend doing all this work from the console rather than an SSH session. If you get disconnected for any reason, it can be kind of a pain to get back in. And as you can see, I am on version 12.5.1, but I'll show you a command. You can run show version inactive. And you can see I've actually already ran through this, and I screwed up the audio recording, so I'm actually reshooting this version, but I have 14 on my inactive partition, the inactive master. You'll probably have something lower than what you already have. So I'm going to also do another command. I did a show status, and that's going to show me how much of my disk space is used up. So if you have trouble uploading the files in this next step, you might want to take a look at that. I'm just going to give it a shot. I don't know if it'll work since I did install something into the inactive partition, but we'll see. So I am now going to run the command to install the files. So I will say utils system upgrade initiate. And I got a little warning, and I'm going to choose 1 for remote file system via SFTP. And this information is already getting pre-filled out because I ran through this all before. So that's kind of nice for me, but you'll actually have to answer or put these in there. So I just did a / for the directory, then the IP address of the workstation that my SFTP server is running on, and then the username and the password. And I just got enter, no SMTP host server. Continue with upgrade after download. Yes, that's fine. Switch version server after upgrade. And I'm going to click no. And it's going to check for valid updates. Upgrades, I mean. This could take a second. And now it's showing me those files that are in my SFTP root server that can be applied to this server. So I'm going to start with 2. The first option there is the ISO. So I'm going to do 2 first. And I'll just let this run. And it downloaded and is installing it. I think this one is going to go real quick. Okay, that was very fast. So, no problems there. If I press the up key, it's going to display the last command I did. So I did that, brought it up. I'll initiate and upgrade again and install the next file in the list. So this will be 2 out of 3. And I'm going to choose 1 again. And then put in the information for my SFTP server again. And continue, yes. The same things I did before. It's going to check for options, and this time I'm going to choose option 3 before moving on to the ISO. So you have to go through this process of initiating the upgrade 3 times in this case, for version 12.5 to 14. It could be different for you. Access the file and install it, and there it goes. And that one took about 5 minutes, but it is done now. So now I'm going to repeat the process, press the up key and enter to initiate another upgrade, and this time I'm going to do the ISO. And this file is 5 gigs, so it is going to take significantly longer, and it's going to take a while to install. And same things I chose before, and it's going to check for the files again, and I'm going to choose option 1 this time for the ISO. Okay, and that took a little bit, but this is a good sign. It did take all 5 gigs of that file. It uploaded. That probably took 5 minutes or more, and then it's now running all this lines of code or whatever that is, but that means that it's going. This process will take a while, so I'll let this run and then confirm that it did install, and then after that I'm going to do the exact same process on the subscriber. Okay, it is much later, the next day actually. This finished installing on its own while I did other stuff, so I'm gonna now verify that. I logged into the CLI of the publisher again, and I'm just going to say show version inactive. And we got 14.0.1. So I can now close this. This one is still running 12.5, but in the inactive partition it has 14. So I'm now ready to move on to the subscriber and do the exact same process. So let me open a console on that. And utils system. Oh, wrong password. No, I'm actually logged in. Utils system upgrade initiate. And it's going to pick up the credentials from the publisher, which is nice. So I'm just going to hit enter for yes here. And then it's going to check for upgrades. So that's kind of cool. I didn't have to enter the SFTP server information or the credentials on the subscriber. It just got all of that from the publisher. And I got the same options again. So I'm going to start with 2. Let that run. Up key. Enter. Enter. And 3 this time. Enter. Let that run, and one more time. Up key, enter, yes, check for options, and this time I'll download the ISO on the subscriber. So option 1 for the ISO, and it's going to download that 5 gig file, and so I'm going to put this on pause, and it'll probably run for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay, it is later. This looks like it finished, so I can confirm that with show version inactive command and the CLI of the subscriber. And there it is, 14. So with that, we are now ready to switch versions. So I'll move over to the publisher CLI. And right now, if this is production, a good thing to do would be just monitor how many phones you have registered with real-time monitoring tool, and just monitor that if you could. So I'm going to log into the CLI here and begin the switch over with utils system switch version. It's going to give me a warning. I'm not worried about that. Yes, I really do want to switch in between versions. Yes. So now any phones that are registered to the publisher are going to fail over to the subscriber. This goes surprisingly fast though. So I'll just let this finish, and then after this has finished switching over to version 14, then I'll move over to the subscriber and switch that one as well. Okay, that completed, and I can see up at the top it says 14, but just to verify, I can do show active. So version active. And you can see that is 14, so that is great. And then I can check the services status by utils service list. And all those services are started. So once you've made sure that those are started and that phones are all registered, you can now move over to the publisher and repeat that process. And here is a CLI for a subscriber. And I'll just run the same command to switch the versions. Util system switch version. And it's going to give me another warning. Yes. Okay. Let that run. Okay, so that finished, and I'm logged into the CLI, so I'll just do man, I do that every time. Show version active, and it shows 14, utils service list, and the ones that I need are all started. And I am able to log into both web pages, and this is the publisher. You can see 14. This is the subscriber, 14, and my phone is registered. So the next thing I want to do is download the new version of real-time monitoring tool, but really the rest is just cleanup work. But I can show you where that is. So on the application page, you go to Application, Plugins, click Find, and RTMT will be down here at the bottom. And if you haven't already, you want to uninstall the old version if you have that running. And just next this. Oh, also you'll have to have Java installed. So just go to Java's website and install their latest version of Java. Worked fine for me. Okay, that installed but didn't launch, so I will launch that. So I'm going to put in the IP address of the publisher. Accept the certificate. Log in with the same credentials you log into the web platform with. And it looks like I'm getting some alerts I would be worried about if this was a production server, but it's not. So I like to go to voice video, and a nice dashboard is device summary. And so depending on your environment, you might have hundreds or thousands of phones, and it will break things down by which phone is registered to which server. So currently my phone is registered to my subscriber, and then after a while you'll start to see a graph showing how many are registered, and then it'll be by colors. So that's a nice dashboard just to monitor things, see where everything is registered, and help troubleshoot. Then you might also want to go to UCCX if you have UCCX and resync JTAPI. But that is about it. So that is how you upgrade Call Manager. In this instance, it was 12.5 to 14. I hope this was useful for you. Let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like to see anything else. Thank you for watching.